See if we can.
Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars in the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and love that great in the mind. Can and the bold. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, their foes can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Ken and Ken in the Morning. I'm still sharing this out to all the X communities. How you doing this morning, Ken?
I'm breathing, so I can't complain.
Well, you can. You could.
Oh, I can? All right. Well, you know what? Screw all this. But good morning there, Bill.
Good morning, Bill.
Yeah, good morning there, Fred.
Oh, we have a Joseph in the house?
Yes, we do. And we have a fence already.
Oh, wow.
He's already home. No shit.
Oh, geez. Fred's going off, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, slow down, Fred. It's just one win.
Yeah, but, I was looking at two things. One,
Although, hey, I did pick the Lions.
I was surprised at how bad of a game Baker had last night. He missed a lot of throws. But credit to the Lions, who played really well.
Mm-hmm.
Credit the Lions secondary, dude. Like, they don't have a single guy that they started the season with in there. And they did a good job. Like, I watched a chunk of that game, and their DBs were playing pretty good, man. I got to give them that.
Yeah, that Kevin or Calvin Shepard there, he's proven to be a real defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I mean, look, with both coordinators, they're using the same 90% of the same stuff that was already there. I mean, we knew that was going to be the case, that it was basically the same. They make some small changes, because they kept it in-house. But the play calling would be different. But they've done a good job. I'm not trying to take anything away from them. They've done a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting as it goes on, and they have to make more changes to what they inherited, whether they do good changes or not.
It's going to be interesting when they play the Bears.
That will be interesting, but that's what, 5-6 weeks away now? I mean, it's still far enough away. There's a lot of...
Yeah, but I think it's going to be interesting because of what they have. Like, are they going to go in there and it's sort of like the Gruden Super Bowl with the Raiders? Like, are they going to go in there and try to run Ben Johnson's offense against them? Do you think that he doesn't know, like, how teams have been successful against him in the past, right? Like, do you think Ben Johnson, when the Lions went 15-2, do you think that he didn't look at those two losses and see what they did defensively and be like, oh, okay, so this works against me, this works against me? Like, that's all I'm saying is, like, I expect that, the Lions, they better have some surprises, some little trickery plays in there, that Ben Johnson didn't create.
They're going to have to do a lot of things different because, like, the Week 2 game, the Bears in Week 2 compared to where the Bears are now is night and day. It is night and day.
That's another reason.
It's two totally different teams. So, yeah, there's going to be that element of it.
I'm sorry, kid. I wasn't trying to interrupt you. I was just like, that's another interesting. That's what makes that game interesting to me is, like, the fact that the Bears look like a totally different team. Like, they seem to have hit their stride. The Lions are obviously rolling, right? Like, they just knocked off what we all thought was probably the best team in the NFL right now. And they didn't just beat them. Like, I mean, for all intents and purposes, they kind of dominated them. You know?
Yeah, I mean, Baker and company, there we go. Only 5 minutes today. All right. I think I did it right today so people actually see it unlike yesterday. So last night, I think, was a combination of a lot of things. They got back on the horse after the bad loss to Kansas City. They were a little fired up at home. Also, the revenge for last year's loss at home.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, Baker had a bad game. His throws weren't what they normally are. He missed guys he normally doesn't miss. Yeah, they made it interesting at the end, trying to make some drives and get some interceptions, or couldn't get turnover on. How many turnover on downs did he have? 2 or 3? I mean, they had a lot of turnovers, which is uncharacteristically them. So it was the perfect day for the Lions. They played really well. The Bucs did not play really well at all. They had a couple moments like, ooh, here comes Baker. You're going to do something. Oh, no, he's not. That's how it felt yesterday with the Bucs. The Lions, like I said, great rebound game. That they needed that. They played well. They may have lost another DB, though, who's been a surprise guy from, what's his name, Sin?
Yeah, Rock Sin.
Yeah, like
former Raider.
Yeah, he's been a little bit of a surprise from this year, and he looked like he got a little banged up yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see how they are going forward, these next couple games. Baker did not have a bad game just because of the Lions defense. I'm sorry. There were times where he was totally clean in the pocket and made terrible throws. And Baker in pressure, okay. Baker makes some amazing throws in pressure. He wasn't making them yesterday in the same types of situation he faces.
Can't both things be true at the same time?
Not to Lions fans. They have to have been the reason for everything, it seems. Because here I am trying to give give them credit. And they're saying, oh, no, it's all because of us because Baker did nothing wrong. No, Baker had a bad game. He did.
And you can't. I mean, look at the stat line and look at, like, I saw it, like he was missing guys that he doesn't normally miss, and that's absolutely true. And on the same token, the Lions defense played really well as well. Baker picked a bad day to have a bad game.
Yeah,
but it was kind of due. I mean, wasn't it? I mean,
next one up. Joe, read this comment. Tell me how funny that is to you.
I mean, Baker's been kicking people all season under pressure, dude. Like, and that's kind of what I was leading to, is like he was due for a bad game. Like, you can't have 17 straight phenomenal performances. Nobody does, right? Like, I think the Lions caught the Bucs on a good night. The Lions played really well. The Bucs, not so much.
Not so much.
And it sucks for us because we wanted to see that slugfest where both teams are playing at their best, right? And that wasn't really what we got.
Maybe the Lions fans don't watch the Bucs enough to understand that he lives under pressure, right? The guy is always under pressure in Tampa. One thing Tampa could do better is get an offensive line because their offensive line doesn't protect great. I mean, oh my God. I'm just done with Lions fans today, man. This is what I'm tired about Lions fans. You give them credit for playing a good game.
Are you not? Are they not listening? Like,
and then you also mentioned that, hey, look, Baker also did not have a Baker game. He was off. He missed throws. He doesn't miss. Oh my God! See, you're not giving us credit. Oh my God, no, it's all because of us. It's like I'm just done with Lions fans. They're almost as bad, if not worse, than Packer fans after a win. I'm sorry.
Whoa, Ken, you're catching strays.
I expect that from Bears fans. They got to bring us into everything.
I'll give Packer fans. Actually, you know what? No, I'll take that back, Joe. I'm going to give Packer fans credit for not being so. Oh my God! Look how awesome we were in a win this year. Packer fans have actually been pretty good about it this year. But Jesus. So, okay, that's a normal stat line.
I was going to say, Ken, that might be due from being around me so much, and I don't get usually too lambasted with it.
I mean, 22 pressures on Baker. That's about normal.
Because believe me, I've seen extremes from the Packers fan base this year.
Oh yeah,
We're the greatest team to ever hit the field, and we are the absolute worst team to ever think about playing football.
oh yeah.
No,
Nick was just telling me on Sunday that you guys are locked in for a Super Bowl run, and I'm just like, slow down. Like,
Locked in, no. Have a chance, yes.
Now look at and Jim is agreeing with what John said. I'll have to agree with what John said too about their offense. Because I had Goff starting last night in fantasy. By the way, yes, I did beat Woody. Not because of Goff, but because of Kate Otten. Okay? Goff had a not so great night last night statistically. It was the run game. Jahmyr Gibbs, when he broke that long one, that was a beautiful run. I mean, their run game, kind of synonymous with how the Bears won this week on National Running Backs Day. The running backs, again, in this game, really were the story offensively for the Lions. I mean, Goff, they never really got the offense cooking with the passing game. The running game was massive. The Bucs didn't stop it. So good on them on their running game, but offensively, Goff, like the stat line was not that good. I mean, I think he got me like 8 fantasy points, which is terrible for a quarterback. But it was better than not starting anyone. So I'll take it because it helped me. It helped me beat Woody, but Kate Otten actually got more points. The tight end from the losing team. So
it raises an interesting question though, because like going into this week, we were like, you know, the Bucs are probably the best team in football right now. Like we would pick them over the Colts, right? But now that the Lions beat them pretty handily, and now they're tied with the Lions at 5-2, like who do you take, the Lions or the Colts? Like who do you think?
The Colts,
you take the Colts?
The Colts right now, yeah. Because the Colts still only have one loss, so I think you got to give it to them for now. But the Lions are with contention. I won't take that away from them.
I don't, man. I think the Lions right now are playing inspired ball, dude.
Here's the thing with the Colts, and this is where the rub on the Colts is. Yeah, but look at the competition, the amount of losing records. But the guys that they're beating, they have losing records, like Arizona, as Green Bay just saw last week, is not an easy out. They've beaten some good football teams that just have bad records.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts, until someone knocks them off, I mean, they're the number 1 seed in the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
So until someone gives us a reason, you know, I mean, I have no reason to say, oh, no, it's not the Colts, because the Colts are doing it. Look at the Lions. They were, I thought, the best team in the league for a minute there. The KC game was a setback. Yesterday was good, but it wasn't good enough for me to say, oh, yeah, they're the best team in the NFL right now, because offensively it wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
It was
not good. I think they're up there. I think it's kind of a 3-horse race right now for me, like between Indy, the Bucs, and the Lions. Like, if I'm being honest.
And look, now that we're in the bye season, let's see if like Buffalo bounces back and gets back into that right after their bye. There are a couple other teams that are worth watching for that, but no, I mean the Lions are up there. They're actually doing okay. Of course, we always miss everything on Lions because, you know, what do we know? But no, I mean,
you do know what I do know, Ken, is that after that Lions win, they just made sure that Green Bay was the number 1 seed in the NFC now.
Oh God, Motown Mitch, you're right, Ken. You're absolutely right. Like, you can't give them credit, because even when you try to give them credit, they're like, oh, see, so I was stupid for believing in them. You can't change your tune now. It's like, I'm trying to sit here and say, like, hey, I was wrong about them in the beginning of the season. The Lions are playing inspired ball. But now, you know what?
Joe.
Fuck it. I'm going Colts, dude. Colts are the best team. Fuck the Lions. How about that?
I mean, only Lions fans can turn a victory into, like, you know what, FTL. You know, only Lion fans can do that to you after a game. I mean, look, it was a big game. They should be pumped because they beat a good football team that's going to win their division. You know, they did look impressive for the most part. Defensively, they looked pretty impressive. offensively, they seemed impressive, but like I said, it was the running game. They never got the passing game on point yesterday. It was like the Bears game against the Saints. The Bears looked impressive, but they never got the passing game going. It was the running game. But the Lions' running game was better than what the Bears did last week. And don't get me wrong, but so I mean, they showed like, okay, it'll be interesting to see what next week brings, and the week after that for all these teams. But I mean, they had a good win yesterday. Baker probably had his worst game of the season in every way. He missed throws he doesn't miss. He was overthrowing guys, going high, going wide, doing things he just doesn't normally do. And look at Baker lives under pressure. Like, when do we not see Baker Mayfield under pressure making phenomenal plays? And
I expect Baker to be back next week, like being Baker again.
Yeah, I mean, it was
he had a bad day, man. Like, everybody has a bad day once in a while.
And look, for the Lions, like I said, it was a revenge game for last year's loss at home. They came off the bye. They were ready. The Bucs they weren't up to the task yesterday.
And I said last Friday, that I felt like the Lions were going to come in pretty pissed off about that Kansas City loss, and that they were going to play accordingly. I did say that.
It might have been. I don't think it was the worst one he's had, but in recent history, yeah. Like, if we go back and even last season, probably one of his worst ones. So I mean, it was a good game. Now,
nor can I.
The Seahawks game, the Sea Chickens last night. Hey, the 12th man was back there in Seattle. It was funny though. I felt sorry for Seattle because like everyone's watching the baseball game as they're at the football game, right? And then the Mariners lose, so they're out, right? They don't get to go to their first World Series ever. And then the Seahawks are up big, and they let the Texans climb back into it and actually made it a game. But good win for the Seahawks last night in the late game. I was thinking, the late game's not worth watching. In fact, I didn't even start to watch it. I was watching something else until my boy came home and said, hey, can you turn the game on? I said, yeah, why not? We'll turn the game on. And then actually it turned out, it was like 14-0. I was thinking to myself, there was a reason I wasn't watching this game. And then all of a sudden, it became a game. That was actually a pretty good game.
I'll tell you why, Jim. I'll tell you why there's always a but. Because Lions fans don't allow for buts. Like, your team gives reasons for buts, but you guys don't accept the buts. It's like, you guys played a great game defensively, but Jared Goff didn't play a great game. Your passing game wasn't really that great. Your running game was awesome. Like, you guys won the game, but Baker didn't have a great game. It's not like you went in there and knocked off like the top team playing their best football, like, which is what we were hoping for. We were hoping for like both teams to be firing on all cylinders, get that shootout that we wanted, and see who's the better team. I don't really feel like we did. I don't really feel like I don't feel like we got that game that we were hoping for at all.
No. But it'll be, here's the thing. And let's say they hit each other in the playoffs. The amount of trash Lions fans are going to talk before that game now is going to be stupid. And then when Baker, if he does show up for that game, they're going to wonder like, well, geez, I mean, well, yeah, because he didn't have a good game last night. You didn't see the Baker that's been tearing people apart all season. You just didn't see it out of him yesterday. It just is what it is. But I mean, here we are, fighting with Lions fans because we said, hey, Baker didn't have his best game. And,
that's just a fact.
It is. I'm like I said, I'm done with Lions fans, man. They came and take it when you say, hey, you guys had a good game.
Yeah, you guys played a great game overall, right? Like, there was definitely some stuff that you're going to want to clean up. But, you guys got a big win. Like, congratulations, you're 5-2. You're at the top of the pile now.
See, like, they can't hear the but. Because I can sit there and say the Bears had a good look. At the Bears won, but the passing game was off sync the entire game on Sunday for the Bears-Saints game. I was happy that we got our first 2-score win of this. We got a 2-score win. I was happy about that.
Yeah.
Right. That was great to now win 25-24 because we won that way 2 games this year. We had 2 games that we won 25-24. Think about that. It was great to have a 2-score win. It's great that we saw the running game get going again 2 games in a row. That's a great sign. But 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 here, listen, Lions fans. But the passing game was out of sync. It's
Didn't
great
the
that the
Packers put
defense.
50 on them? I thought
now?
the Packers. Mitch said everybody has a bad day against the Lions. Like nobody puts
Not
up
the
50
Packers,
against
they
us.
did it.
Didn't the Packers put 50 on you, or damn close?
And wait, you ready for this one, Lions fans? There's only one team in the NFL who scored 21 plus points in every single game they played this year. Guess who that team is? It's not the freaking Lions.
Yeah, but didn't the Packers put like 40 something on them?
Guess what? There's only one team in the NFL.
27 on them.
There's only one team in the NFL that scored at least 21 points plus a game in every game they played this year. Guess what team that is? Go ahead, Lions fans. You guys want to take a shot?
I'm guessing. If you're saying it, it's got to be the Bears.
Say, of course. Everybody,
Bears.
nobody had to answer that one.
Yeah, it's the Bears.
Yeah.
So don't talk to me about, come on, there's always a but. And you're right, Bill. Like, Mike Evans went out again.
Yeah, that sucks, man. And he's probably out for a good chunk of the season too, broken collarbone.
Yeah. I was gonna say good chunky. Yeah, I think he's missing the rest of the season with that.
Yeah. He might be able to get back by the playoffs, maybe.
Yeah.
Possibly, but he's not gonna be 100%. That injury is like an 8-week injury, dude, at least.
So there's always.
I was just gonna say it. You know what sucks? Like when butts only work in wins. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I could sit here and be like, yeah, the Raiders are 2-5, but it just sounds like a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? But Geno sucks. It's like, yeah, well, that's the reason you're 2-5. Like,
I mean.
Joe, that reminds me, I got a video to send you after the show.
It's funny though, because like you look at this week, and no one knew it until they talked about it on Sunday Night Football. It was National Running Backs Day. The running backs this week were big in a lot of these wins. Like the Bears game, it was the running game. The Lions last night, it was the running game. Obviously the Niners game was running all over the place.
Even the Raider game, it was the lack of the running game. Like they ran Genty 6 times in the whole game. Like that's,
Oh yeah, Craig, I could give two shits about that. Like, you think I care about last year's record?
Wait. I thought the past didn't matter.
It doesn't. That's what I said. You think I really care about
that's what I'm saying. Lions fans all the time say past don't matter.
But actually, Craig, the one thing that is with that, we were 4-2 last year, and we were 4-2 this year. It's like, so which way are we going to go this year? But it goes back to, I think, what Joe said and we were talking about yesterday. Last year that game against the Skins sent the teams in two different directions, and we were wondering if that wasn't the case again this year, because the Bears go into DC this year, beat them, then go on to their first 2-score win, whereas then the Commanders go to Dallas and just get trounced. So I wonder, could it be the inverse this year? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. 22 miles an hour.
Last year has nothing to do with it, but it would just be kind of, I don't know, interesting if that's the way it goes. Like, well, that's just interesting, right? It's one of those things.
Jahmyr Gibbs on that run was clocked at 22 miles an hour, dude. That's fucking fast, bro. That is fast, bro.
That was the fastest clock speed in the league this year. Jahmyr was on another level.
Dude, like that's as fast as my car in traffic. Like in city limits, that's the speed limit, bro. Like that's insane.
Oh. Yeah, just the Bucs just offensively yesterday just
hit the bed, dude.
Yep, I know, Fred. I know. It's the ones that the fans are going to fan, and then there's the fans that are like, okay, let's think about this.
We all have fans in our fan base that do dumbass shit.
Yeah, week one, dude, is not much to shout about, dude. I mean,
if I was a Lions fan right now, like a real Lions fan, I would be quietly happy, right? Like I'd be happy with where we are this season, right? But I'd also remember that we won 15 games last year and got smoked in the first round of the playoffs, or in the first playoff game we had. Like, so I would be like taking a wait and see approach. Like, none of this really matters until we get to the playoffs, right?
I'm gonna say, from a Packer fan perspective here, of all the years of us going to the NFC Championship there and falling short, the first few years that it happens, you're still going to think you're the best team around, and you're going to be gloating about it. And then after it happens a few times where you lose in the playoffs with a heartbreaker, then that's when you start to get that quiet optimism.
I mean, look, I think I heard A-Dub on the noon show yesterday say he thinks that the NFC North is going to send 3 teams to the playoffs. And look, if you look at the NFC North right now, our worst record's what? Is the Vikings.
Yep.
And they would probably be in second place in the other divisions.
You guys think the Lions win 15 again?
No,
I don't think so.
No. I don't think so. But I think, look at the North is going to be an interesting place. I think, like, between the Lions, the Packers, and the Bears, who ends up in first right now, if I was putting money down, I'd say probably the Lions. Because, like, look at the Bears are trending the right direction, and we've seen the improvement every game. And if they ever put the running game and the passing game together with the way this defense is playing now, I mean, look out, right? But they haven't, so I can't say that yet. When I look at the Packers, they're the same way. Like, they haven't put it all together. They get one thing's going good, the other thing's not. They're winning games, but they're not convincingly winning games. So they're kind of like in that same area the Bears are, right? So, the 3 teams that are going to – and right now the Vikings are just a mess. Their defense isn't performing to what we thought they should be. Their quarterback situation is – I don't know what their quarterback situation is not as good as it was last year. That's probably the better way of putting it, right? I mean, they could be the odd man out this year in a very good division. And I got someone doing crack on Sundays, but that's okay, Brian. We all have our opinions. I don't think they're going to win 13. I think they're going to lose some games in the division yet. They could very well lose to the Packers. They could very well split with the Bears.
13 is honestly who I think wins the division. Whoever gets that 13 win is going to be the division.
Well, 13 would definitely win you this division. I don't know if anyone's going to get to 13. 12 might be better. Bill, I'm more with Bill. I think 12 might do it. They're going to. I mean, look, you could lose 2 more games and still win 13 and split the division. But you got to figure they're going to have a bad day on a road game somewhere, outside of the division yet. So I
think 12 or 13 is possible for them. Yeah. Like, I think 13 is like they would have to really. I mean, 13 doesn't really leave much room for error, man. Like, they're gonna, including the division games. But I think 12 is. I could see them winning 12 games for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's gonna be somewhere between 11 and 12. I think it's gonna be either 11 or 12 wins this division. I mean, because when you get to division games, there's so many variables, and like week 18 is a variable because, like, if they've got the number 1 seed locked up, and let's say they play the Bears, and let's say the Bears and the Lions have their seeds locked up, like, that's not going to be a game. That's just going to be like a whatever game. So, you got to look at stuff like that too. We'll see what happens. I mean, 11-6, 12-5 are both in the possibility, are definitely there. I think the Bears, if they look at the Bears, keep playing if they win these next 3 games, I mean, they're going to be set up really well.
Plus
right?
8.
Then they'll be 7-2. I mean, and then you're talking. We got a couple. We'll have what, like 4, 5. We see 2, 3, 4 division games in there. I mean, they'll be set up well where they're looking at 10 or 11 wins. The Packers could be in the same boat. So yeah, I mean, it's. The North is interesting. 12 games could be there, but I think I'd probably err on the side of caution and say 11, just leaving a little bit of wiggle room there.
Yeah, because there's also something that doesn't really get talked about a whole lot, but you see it every year. It's like you have these teams where the teams that are like at the top of the pile, right? Now all of a sudden every week is a playoff game because the team that's coming to play you wants to beat you. They want to knock off the best team in the league, dude. So you're going to have, like, the more games the Lions win, the bigger the target on their back is, you know? So it's like there are no easy games going forward. Like even the games that you think should be easy are going to be trap games because
Well, yeah,
they're going to
because
come and play you tough, man. Like,
so they get the Vikings at home, right? November 2nd, right?
like
Yeah.
look at Kansas City last year, right? Kansas City had to go on that crazy run to like make the playoffs, right?
I mean,
Because and every
okay,
game was close. Why is that? It's because every team was like, you know, trying to stop their momentum, trying to knock them out, and nobody wanted them in the playoffs.
So like, look,
You know?
they get the Vikings at home. They could probably win that game. Then they go to the Commanders, and the way the Commanders are right now, they
That's a
should
win.
win that game. The Eagles will be a good game on Sunday Night Football on November 16th. That's one they could lose if the Eagles are right. So there's one there. Then they get the Giants at home, and the Giants are not an easy out like we all thought they were. I mean, but they should win that one. Then they get the Packers at home, and that's going to be a tough one. That's a revenge game. They could lose that one. Then they get the Cowboys. I mean, they should win that one on Thanksgiving, or not Thanksgiving. I'm sorry. They play 2 Thursdays in a row. They get the Packers on Thanksgiving. Then the following Thursday, they get the Wait, hold on a second. Huh? Yeah. Then see they got a weird schedule because look at on the 23rd they get the Giants at home, and then 4 days later they get the Packers. So that's advantage Packers there, right? Then they get then the following Thursday they get the boys. Then they get the Rams. They could lose that one. You know, then they get the Steelers. That could be a good game. Then they go to Minnesota, and then they get the Bears. So I mean, they could really. There's like 2 to 3, maybe even possibly up to 4 losses. Really, you could see there depending on what happens on any given Sunday. So that's what I'm saying. 11 or 12 games is probably on point. I mean, they should win 11 to 12. Look at the schedule, but there are a couple games in there that are like, okay, there are going to be some tough outs. So if they happen to have a bad day, when the Steelers come to town, or they happen to have a bad day, you know, in LA, you know.
I actually think that Cowboys game might be closer than people think. Like Dak's playing really well right now.
Well, actually, that stretch there where they go Giants, Packers, Cowboys, dude, that's not an easy stretch because look, you go from Sunday Night Football against the Eagles, okay? So you're the late game on Sunday. Then then you got the week, so you're fine. But then you get the Giants at home. Then you have that's on Sunday noon game, good because then Thursday you get the Packers. And then the following Thursday, you get the boys. So that between the Giants-Packers game, you only have, 3 days, really? And then, boom, you go again. And then you get to the following Thursday. So, you get a full week. The NFL didn't really do them a solid. They didn't give them the mini-bye, right? They didn't give them the mini-bye, which they could have done and had them go Sunday against the boys. But no. They made them both go a Thursday again. So, but the boys are playing Thursday too, like they do now. So there's no really advantage for either team in that regard. But
there is a huge disadvantage for the Lions going into that Packers game.
Yes.
Like they're going in on 3 days. Like, bro, I'm thinking you mark that one as a loss right now. Like,
yeah, and in the Rams game, they get the mini bye.
You really need that full week for the Packers, dude. You really need that full week to prepare. Like. And having 3 days, that's not going to be good for them.
No. So, I mean, look at they don't have an easy schedule. They don't have an easy schedule. Now, if I look at the Packers, since we haven't talked too much about them, their schedule.
Hey, while you're pulling it up, can I answer Bill's question?
Go ahead. I've already got it.
So, Bill, I don't think that the Raiders should fire any of their coordinators at this point. I think firing coaches has been their problem for the last 20 years. Like they don't develop any continuity. You can't really blame the coaches for what's going on right now. The Raiders just have their roster is not that great. They're starting a lot of young guys. They've been missing Bowers he played one game. He played one game healthy and then a couple of games not healthy, and then he's been out the last few games. So a big part of their offense is missing. No, and I don't think they should bench Geno either. Like, Geno is, for better or worse, Geno is the quarterback this year, and it's probably going to be worse, and it's probably going to be like top 5 pick.
Joe's been consistent on all of this. He's been saying this like every day for the last 3 weeks. Now look at the Packers. They've actually got a pretty rough schedule, dude. They got the Steelers on Sunday Night Football this week. That's going to be a good game. They could lose that one. They could lose that one. Then they get a Panthers team that's been on the uptick, but they should win that one.
Mm-hmm.
Then they get the Eagles on Monday Night Football. Going to be another tough game.
That should be a good game.
Then
but the Eagles are so dysfunctional right now that it's like they're winning, but they're not.
They made the Vikings look silly for the most part this last week.
Yeah,
but you're right, Joe. There is a little dysfunction there. Well, see, winning solves issues. So, but if they're still winning, that they're going to be a very tough out. That's a game they might lose on Monday Night Football. Then they get the next week they get the Giants. Okay,
not an easy game either.
Not an easy game in New York where they play really well. Then they get the Vikings at home. That's going to be another tough game, but they should win that one. Then the short rest they go to Detroit. Like that's just a tough game. Then they get the mini bye and they get the Bears in Green Bay. So that's a good thing for them on the mini bye. We'll see where the Bears are, but that's not going to be an easy out either way. Then they get the Broncos. That's a tough game. Then they get the Bears again on a TBA Week 16. So who knows when that game's going to be.
So that Packers Lions game, are they both on 3 days rest on that game?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, it should be a good game because I thought the Packers were coming in like off of a 10-day rest, and the Lions were coming in off 3 days.
No, they're not. But they get the mini bye for the Bears, which gives them a slight advantage for that game against Chicago and Green Bay. Then they follow that up with the Broncos. That's a tough game. Then they get the Bears again. They probably split with the Bears, to be honest with you.
That's crazy. And why do they have the Bears back sandwiched in between?
I've been telling Ken this since the schedule came out. I hate to record games like that. Twice in 3 weeks. It sucks. Then they get the Ravens at home. If the Ravens are playing like the Ravens are, that should be a W. And they finish the season with the Vikings, and who knows if that game even matters to them at that point. So they do not have an easy schedule at all. You look at that game, their schedule, and honestly, you can compared to the Lions, you can say, yeah, there are more games in there that the Packers could lose and the Lions are going to lose in this stretch, right? And the Packers could win a lot of those games, but for them it's a lot harder outs than what the Lions are right now. Look at if the Packers start putting it together offensively and defensively, like against Arizona, they were great. Micah Parsons, 3 sacks, right? It was great, but offensively, they had some struggles. They got to get more than Dobbs going.
Okay, here's where I interject my butt. Yes, Green Bay's defense played great, but Nate Hobbs needs to be taken out back in Old Yeller.
Yeah, well, that might be true.
Hey! Don't talk about hype man Hobbs like that, dude. All right,
hype man Hobbs can go 45 feet under. That man sucks a freaking elephant dong.
Bill,
where were you playing? You were playing him outside, weren't you? Yeah, that's what I told you from the beginning. But hey, Packers don't listen to me. Hype man Hobbs is a slot man. You put him in the slot, he's the best slot corner in the league, dude. You put him outside, he's going to get cooked. He doesn't have the speed to hang with receivers outside.
So Bill,
unfortunately, found that out.
Yeah, Bill, I'm gonna hold off on that because he's coming out of retirement possibly, right? I don't know if he'll actually
he's officially coming out.
They're working on a deal right now, but I don't think that's going to move the needle all that much.
No, well, it could later, but yeah, he's gonna have some rust to knock off in that too, but. Then we look at the Bears. They get the Ravens, which will be an interesting game this week because Lamar's back, right? Then the Bengals, which is going to be interesting because they're playing a lot better since they got Flacco. Then we get a tough out with the Giants. Then we go with the Vikings. That's a revenge game. Hopefully we win that one. Then we get the Steelers. That's going to be a tough game. Then we get the Eagles on Friday, on Black Friday. That's going to be a tough game.
That's a brutal stretch already, dude.
So really, the Packers game actually – they're on a mini bye. We're kind of on a mini bye minus 1 day because the Packers play Thursday. We play Friday that week. So, okay, the advantage I thought was there for the Packers is not there for the Packers. So that's going to be a good game. But like I said, I think we probably end up splitting with the Packers. Then we get the Browns. They should win that one. Then we get the Packers again. Then we go to San Francisco and then we go to Detroit. So tough schedule. The Bears really need to win
That Browns game is going to be a difficult one.
It is. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's not going to be none of these games. Really, the game. I mean, there's a lot of tough games in here. The Bears could lose or win. They really need to beat the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Giants to have a good shot.
Want to see that. I really want to see that Niner game actually, because to me that'll be like. It's not that the Niners are so great to me, but it's like, that'll be a good test of where the Bears are. Because the Niners, to me, their record is kind of inflated because they haven't really beat good teams. They've just beat so-so teams.
The interesting thing with the Bears schedule, noon, then the Friday game, then back to noon, to be announced. That Bears-Packers game will probably be flex. And then we get Sunday Night Football against the Niners, and then noon. The Bears got a lot of noon starts, which may be beneficial. But if we can drop one of the next 3 games, we can only drop one. Because we're in this 5-game stretch that started with the Commanders. We said, look, we need to go 4-1 or 5-0 to be a playoff team. Right? So the Bears can only drop one between the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Giants. If we don't drop any, and we go 5-0 and keep this winning streak going, then coming into that Vikings game, if we beat the Vikings and get our revenge that week, right, then the Bears have a nice cushion to make the playoffs. And so you look at the Bears and the Packers, I think they're both playoff. They can both be playoff teams. You look at the schedule, a lot of games they can win. There's not a single game in that Bears schedule I say, yeah, the Bears don't have a shot. There's not a single game in that Packers schedule where I say, yeah, the Packers don't have a shot. There's not a single game on the Lions schedule where I say, yeah, the Lions don't have a shot. The Vikings kind of the same way, right? The Vikings are still in this thing. Don't get it twisted. They're only a game out. You know what I'm saying? This division's tight. So it's going to be an interesting season as it progresses. What's going to be interesting now is injuries. Can you put it together? Because Green Bay needs to put together. Chicago needs to put it together. The Vikings need to put together. Heck, even the Lions need to put it together because they didn't have it all together last night, as we saw by the passing game. So all 4 NFC North teams should be feeling good right now about their records overall. Even Minnesota should be feeling okay because they're not out of it in terms of the wild card or the division. But they still have questions to answer. We've answered some of the questions coming into the season, like one Bears, is Ben Johnson the guy? I think that's a resounding yes from what we've seen so far. Right? Now the question is is the offensive line good? I think we've answered that question. Now though, the new question is, can they put together the pass game and the run game at the same time? Right? For the Lions, the question is kind of the same thing after last night. And then is this deep patchwork defense with a lot of injuries again this year going to be able to hold throughout and into the playoff run? For the Packers, it's like, okay, we got Micah, but can we fix the secondary? And can we get the offense clicking like it should be going? Because the whole season, the Packers offense has not looked great. They've looked good at times. They haven't looked great. Minnesota, it's like, what are we going to do at quarterback? And can we get the defense to be consistent?
I don't think Minnesota's any closer to answering that quarterback question either, because JJ's missed so much time, and you really haven't got to see what he could do. Like, this season was supposed to be where you get to see what JJ can do in his first year, right? And you haven't got to see that. So you're going into, I don't know. I mean, how much longer is Wentz going to be starting? Do you know?
No, and it looks like Burrow's out till mid-December. So, no, he's not coming back.
Yeah, but I want to know, how long is J.J. McCarthy going to be out? Because, this season was supposed to be you get to see what you got in J.J., and it hasn't worked out that way at all, So it's like, here you're going to be potentially going into year 3, and you still don't even know what you have. So you're almost in that Jordan Love situation where it's like, you get 1 year of tape on the dude.
It's a little bit different, but yeah.
It is different because it's injuries and not, Jordan Love sitting on the bench behind Aaron Rodgers. But you get what I'm saying. The result is the same. You're looking at 1 year of tape on a guy to try and make a decision on, do we extend him? Do we make him the guy?
So, and they're missing Aaron Jones too, which is not good. Maybe McCarthy could be back Thursday. Could be back soon. He did have limited practice last week. But when's he going to be a full go? I don't know. Aaron Jones could come back week 8 as well, so they could get them both back in week 8 in theory. Whether they
I hope
will
for
or
their
not,
sake that they do. I hope they do so that they can see what they got.
yeah. And Fred, here's the thing though with the Packers and the Bears, because they've both had the same issue, right? They've had flashes, they've kept games close, and they've won close games that way. The Packers too. I mean, the Packers losing to the Browns. I mean, Garrett. Just say it, Garrett. He wrecks games. For them, that Cleveland game was our Raiders game. With Max Crosby. Max Crosby played out of his mind that game. Those are teams that you got to be careful for, because if they put it together towards the end of the year, or they finally get it put together, those are the teams that when you lose to them in the playoffs, like, how do we lose to them? Because they're putting it together at the right time. But Joe's right on JJ. I mean, JJ, he's got to stop being injury prone. Yeah, we know Wentz is injury prone, but for them, it's even more so important on JJ, because if he gets injured again this year, let's say JJ comes back and he gets injured again this year, like, what do you do in Minnesota? Now you have 2 years of this kid where he hasn't been able to play for 2 years for the most part, sparingly played. Do you really put the hat on his coat rack, say you're the guy? Or do you start thinking, I need to go get a quarterback if you're Minnesota?
I'm not the GM of Minnesota or the head coach, but I start looking in the draft this year. If he gets injured again before the season is over, I'm looking. I'm in the draft, especially in this draft class. There's probably 4 or 5 first-round quarterbacks. Like, I'm making a move.
If you go to that draft class, and that draft class that he came out of, I mean, that's Caleb, that's Jaden, that's Bo Nix. He's the bust right now. JJ is the bust right now, for sure. The bust. Right now, he is the bust. CJ Stroud, dude. I mean, we've been saying this about CJ Stroud and the Texans all year. They're living on the hype of his rookie year. He has not been good the last 2 seasons. Last night, he looked terrible. He didn't make any, like, oh my God kind of plays. I mean, God, he got strip sacked how many times? And a couple of them they got back because of penalties or whatever. Dude, Stroud is not playing good again this year. The Texans are living off of that overhype of 2 years ago still.
But I don't think it's Stroud's fault as much, dude. Like, I don't look at it like Stroud has regressed. I look at it like his offensive line is fucking terrible, dude.
It is, but some of the stuff he's doing, he shouldn't be doing. Like, dude, I mean, he's getting strip sacked. Like, I mean, he had what, 3 or 4 strip sacks yesterday. Luckily for them, only 1 counted. They've had he has no spatial awareness at all. And knowing that your offensive line's bad, he should be more prepared than he is. He's just not looking prepared at all. He's
put it this way: if I was, I would trade for him right now. Like, if I was the Raiders GM, I would say, like, hey, look, he's not performing for you. Like, we'll take him. What do you want?
I mean, that would be the trend
for Stroud NFL, right now.
Look, I think if Stroud goes to a different team, maybe you see something different. I mean, obviously we look at the guys like Mac Jones and Indiana Jones, where that's been the case. But I think Stroud, man, he's trending down right now with Texas. He's trending down. That team is trending down. They're living off that hype of 2 years ago still.
I agree. But I think a change of scenery could do Stroud some good, dude.
I really do. I agree.
And if he could come to the Raiders, because I wanted him. Like, the year he came out, I wanted the Raiders to get him. But
here's the question right now: who would you rather have, Young or Stroud? Let's revisit that.
Out of Bryce Young, I'd rather have Stroud. Like, I think Stroud still has the tools. He's under duress so much, dude. And like, D'Amico Ryans is a really good head coach, but he's not an offensive coach. I really think Stroud needs somebody who's, like, good with quarterbacks, to, like, really just work with him. Like a guy like I would love to see what Chip Kelly could do with him. You know,
Ken,
like
what do you think? Stroud or Young?
I would personally put Stroud above Young, but just barely. I think the gap between them has been massively closed in the past year or so.
Honestly, I'm going to take Young. You know why? He's had that trial by fire, and he's learned to be. He's been compressed. That fire has forged him into a better quarterback than Stroud, who had it relatively easy that rookie year, and now he's harder to forge yourself into a better quarterback when you already believe the hype of that rookie year. Whereas Young's had to battle his way through and is more of a battle-hardened quarterback than Stroud is right now. I'm going to take Young because when the pressure's on, Young is going to be a better quarterback than Stroud is right now today.
And if I'm the 49ers, I'm not letting Mac Jones out of the building.
Oh, yeah, I'm not.
No, if anything, I'd be like, "You want Purdy?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd give you Purdy in a heartbeat.
We'll send you Purdy if you want.
I mean, but this is interesting when we look at quarterbacks when they get drafted in the first round and how we are really quick. Like Jaden Daniels is another one. Last year, everyone's really quick to anoint him the next big thing. He's not having a good year this year. Yeah, and guess what? He's fighting injuries, and guess what? That's a knock on him because guess what? He's missing games yet again for injury. So that's another knock on Jaden Daniels. Armor that he had of being this phenomenal messiah for Washington. Like these guys, when they have good rookie first years and they get to like this messiah thing and the hype train and they buy into the hype train some. I mean, dude, that's when you go to year 3 and you look at how are they doing against the other guys in that draft class. Like Bo Nix, like he's having a hard year this year, but last year, but he's still kind of doing it. Look at the game against New York. He's doing it more than Jaden's doing it. Right? Bo Nix is actually looking better than Jaden. Caleb is starting in some ways, sometimes, not always. He's starting to look better than Jaden in certain ways because, once again, had a rougher rookie year than Jaden did. I think that makes him more battle-hardened. And by the time you get to year 3, and so I'm not trying to be presumptive when I say this, but next year is when we're going to find out more about who was the best quarterback that came out of that draft class because you're looking at now 3 years in, or in the year 3 of Stroud and Young. And right now, I mean, year 1, everyone's like, oh, yeah, Stroud, hands down. Now you're in year 3, and you're like, you know what? Young's a little more battle-hardened. He's better under pressure than Stroud. Stroud's isn't able to hold the ball. And you go to the guys who are in year 2, you're like, well, Bo Nix is doing it. Caleb is getting wins, and he's got some things. Some of his numbers are impressive, but other things still aren't. And you're like, well, Jaden is getting hurt, and he's making mistakes, and he's not as good as he was last year. So year 3 is going to be a big thing for those guys. Kind of like year 3 is a big year right now for Jordan Love. Year 3 is a better marker than year 1 or year 2, and that's the problem with CJ Stroud. He's still living off that year 1 hype.
I agree with almost everything you said. But other than staying healthy, I cannot point to a single thing that Bo Nix does better than Jaden Daniels. I cannot. Like Jaden Daniels, even in losses, Jaden Daniels shows that he's that guy. Like
Jaden Daniels is more flash than Bo Nix is for sure. He's got the flashier runs, stuff like that. Nix, he does run and get some first downs, but he's not a flash guy. But look at this game against the Giants, man. I mean, dude, he had a good game. And when it counted, he put his team in the W. Mm-hmm. I mean, I agree with you. I think Jaden Daniels still has more flash. He has more pop.
I'm not shitting on Bo Nix. I'm just saying that.
I think there's a clear step between them.
Yeah, there's levels to this shit. And this is all I'm saying.
If Jaden Daniels keeps having these injury issues, especially if he has them next year, then Bo Nix will surpass him.
And that's the major knock that was on Jaden Daniels was how underweight he is. Because he's only like 180, 190 pounds, something ridiculous like that. What I would want to see from him if I'm a Washington fan is I want this dude spending the entire offseason weight training. You need to add something more to your ass, dude.
And look, it's not like Bo Nix had Scary Terry either. I mean, who'd Bo Nix have last year, and who's he really have this year?
Portland Sutton.
Yeah, I was going to say Cortland Sutton is a decent receiver. Now, he's not as good as Scary Terry.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So, like,
yeah.
You know, weaponry makes a difference too, and that's why you have a knock on Caleb, because Caleb's got better weaponry than both of them. But and Caleb, while he does have some impressive stat lines, you know, they're not impressive enough to catapult him yet. You know, I mean, he's got some impressive stat lines of things he's done as a rookie, right? In his first 22 games, like he's best all time for #1 overall pick and touchdown interception ratio. That's great, but you know, and he's won some close games lately at the end, right? But he hasn't done enough to surpass those two guys yet in that draft class. Year 3 is gonna be a
Caleb
big,
just needs to throw for 4,000, man. If Caleb can throw for 4,000, that will take. Nobody could ever say anything about Caleb Williams again, because he will be the greatest quarterback in Bears history if he throws for that 4,000, dude.
He's on track for 4,000 this year, even with some of the lackluster throwing games they've had.
Ken, you're laughing, but do you disagree, Ken?
Oh, no, I don't disagree. What I'm laughing at is that it took all this time to get a 4,000-yard guy. And it's not a super major knock. It's just more the fact of, you know, I'm surprised that it was him to be able to crack it and not like Jay Cutler when they had him. Because
Cutler missed it by like 6 yards or something like that.
Yeah, because I personally think Jay Cutler's the best quarterback you have.
I agree. Up until now, we'll see. Well, we'll see what happens with Caleb. But I mean, Cutler's that guy that everyone hated when he was here, or a lot of people, because I liked him. A lot of people in Chicago didn't like him, and now wish he was back. You know, and then wish he was back. But 4,000 yards,
Corey,
no shit, Corey. Well, actually, right now, Corey, you don't even need to throw 4,000 to do that in Illinois. But
no, but if he throws for 4,000, they're gonna put a statue at the new stadium, dude.
4,000 is one of those stat lines. Like, it's cool and all, but I really don't care if they're winning games if he gets the 4,000 or not. I mean, it's one of those like, okay, cool, but did you win games? I'm like, because a lot of guys have thrown for 4,000 plus and not gotten to the playoffs. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's one of those weird stat things there, the 4,000 thing. But I mean, year 3 for those guys is going to be important. Just like going back to Young and Stroud, like. You know, Young and even for this year's rookies, like Cam is not looking great, but you can see where he's looking. But then, like, you go Dart. Well, right now, you take Dart over Cam. But 3 years from now, are you gonna be taking Cam or are you gonna be taking Dart? You know, that's
nobody said Caleb Williams is all that, Bill. We're just acknowledging that he's making progress. And, you know, I think Ken was very clear that he's still got some areas that he needs to improve, but he has improved in other key areas. And I agree.
Like Tyson Bagent, I like Bagent's a great backup for Chicago. I don't know if Bagent would be a good long-term starter, to be honest with you. I like Bagent a lot. There's a lot of things to like about Bagent, but there's a reason he's not a starter.
Because Caleb's better.
Because Caleb's better. If the Bears get in a position where they maybe need to trade him next year because he's going to cost too much to re-sign after next year, they will. And he'll get that. And because of the hype that's been built around, they'll get a nice paycheck for him. They'll get a nice draft pick for him.
And he'll get a nice paycheck wherever he goes, too. And
he will. And, dude, he got $10 million from the Bears, and the man about cried, which I thought was awesome. A lot of respect I have for Tyson Bagent. But he's not as good as Caleb.
I don't know, Ken. If you wrote me a check for $10 million, I'd probably cry too.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying, though. It's a positive thing. I really like Bagent. So overall, he's a great guy. He fits his team. But with that, guys, we're out of time today. Don't forget it's Tuesday, so nothing else going on today. Really, it's kind of a quiet day. Enjoy your Tuesday. Be back with us tomorrow. We'll be back here tomorrow, of course, and tomorrow being Wednesday is the big day. We got tons of shows tomorrow. We got Ken and Ken. We got the MMA. We got the Bears show, Hallis Hall. And of course, today we still have the Daily Huddle. So get your Packer fix or just a big crowd of people fix. That's always a fun show to watch. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Everyone have a great day. Bear down.